This video is presented by your favorite channel, History Chronicles.
Have you ever wondered how a single country's history could shape the world in ways both unimaginable and terrifying? Germany, a nation at the heart of Europe, carries a past so disturbing that it continues to haunt humanity even today. From its rise as a fractured medieval state to its transformation into a powerhouse of war and destruction, Germany's story is one of ambition, devastation, and reckoning. In this video, we'll take you on a gripping journey through the darkest chapters of Germany's history. We'll uncover the roots of its turmoil, explore the events that led to 2 world wars, and confront the horrifying legacy of Adolf Hitler's reign. But that's not all. Stick with us until the end to discover how Germany managed to rise from its ashes and become the country it is today, offering critical lessons about resilience and accountability. So, get ready to dive into a tale of power, tragedy, and redemption. A story that reveals not just the shadows of one nation, but the depths of what humanity is capable of. Are you ready? Let's begin.
To truly understand the disturbing history of Germany, we must first explore its turbulent beginnings. Long before it became a unified nation, Germany was a patchwork of fragmented states. During the Middle Ages, it was part of the Holy Roman Empire, a sprawling and chaotic conglomeration of kingdoms, duchies, and free cities. This disunity often led to power struggles among local rulers, each vying for control over territories. While the empire wielded significant influence across Europe, it was riddled with internal conflicts and lacked centralized authority, setting the stage for centuries of turmoil. One of the darkest early chapters in Germany's history unfolded in the 17th century during the 30 Years' War. This brutal conflict, fueled by religious tensions between Catholics and Protestants, devastated much of Europe. But Germany bore the brunt of the destruction. Entire towns were reduced to ashes, and the population suffered unimaginable horrors. It's estimated that Germany lost nearly a third of its people during this period, either to war, famine, or disease. The scars of this conflict lingered for generations, shaping the country's psyche and weakening its political structure. Despite this chaos, Germany's fragmented states began to emerge as cultural and economic hubs. Cities like Nuremberg and Frankfurt became centers of trade and learning, offering a glimpse of the nation's potential. However, without unity, these scattered efforts remained vulnerable to external forces and internal discord. The seeds of Germany's future were being sown, but they were planted in blood-soaked soil. This fractured foundation would later influence the country's struggle for identity and power, a struggle that would lead to both triumph and unspeakable tragedy. By the 19th century, the fragmented states of Germany began to move toward unity, driven by a rising tide of nationalism. The man who orchestrated this transformation was Otto von Bismarck, a cunning statesman known as the Iron Chancellor. Under his leadership, Germany embarked on a journey to consolidate its fractured lands into a single, powerful nation. Bismarck's strategy was as calculated as it was ruthless. He masterminded a series of wars to unite the German states under Prussian dominance. The first target was Denmark in 1864, followed by Austria in 1866, and finally France in 1870. Each conflict served a purpose: to eliminate rivals, ignite national pride, and forge alliances. By the time the Franco-Prussian War ended, the German Empire was born in 1871, with King Wilhelm I of Prussia crowned as its first emperor. The unification of Germany marked a turning point in European history. For the first time, the continent faced a centralized and industrialized German state with immense military and economic potential. However, this newfound power came with an undercurrent of militarism and authoritarianism. Bismarck's policies prioritized strength and dominance, often at the expense of democratic values and individual freedoms. As Germany solidified its position as a European powerhouse, tensions with neighboring countries began to rise. The nation's ambitions for colonial expansion and its increasing reliance on military might created friction across Europe. The shadow of future conflict loomed large, but for now, Germany stood united, a formidable force poised to shape the world in both remarkable and terrifying ways. The early 20th century brought Germany to the center of a storm that would engulf the entire world. The unification of the German Empire had made it a dominant force in Europe, but its ambitions soon collided with those of other major powers. These tensions finally erupted in 1914, sparking the First World War, a conflict unlike anything humanity had ever seen. Germany entered World War I with bold confidence, aligning itself with Austria-Hungary and the Ottoman Empire. The war was a brutal affair, fought in trenches and marked by devastating new technologies, including machine guns and chemical weapons. Germany's military strategy, while innovative, was ruthless, leading to significant destruction across Europe. The infamous Schlieffen Plan, designed for a swift invasion of France through Belgium, turned the Western Front into a grueling stalemate that lasted years. By 1918, Germany was on the brink of collapse. The war had drained its resources, shattered its economy, and left its people desperate for peace. When the Allies finally forced Germany to surrender, the consequences were severe. The Treaty of Versailles, signed in 1919, imposed harsh penalties on the defeated nation. Germany was stripped of its territories, forced to disarm, and burdened with staggering reparations payments. These terms devastated Germany, plunging it into an economic and political crisis. Hyperinflation wiped out savings, unemployment soared, and anger simmered among the population. Many Germans felt humiliated by the treaty, viewing it as a betrayal that tarnished their national pride. This bitterness created fertile ground for extremist ideologies to take root, setting the stage for one of the darkest chapters in history. The aftermath of World War I wasn't just a tragedy for Germany, it was a warning to the world. The seeds of future conflict were already sown, and the stage was set for an even greater catastrophe.